Hello guys, and welcome to Daily Market Movements. Welcome to another episode where today we're going to be analyzing the NASDAQ 100 futures market. Just before I start today's video, I just want to say a massive thank you and welcome to everyone who has signed up on our brand new monthly subscription plan. I announced this yesterday on my YouTube videos, and I'm happy to announce that there's already been 80 of you sign up. So a massive welcome from myself and the rest of the team here at Daily Market Movements. For those who perhaps missed yesterday's video, you can head over to dailymarketmovements.com. I've left the website link in the description of today's video. I've been doing a fair bit of work on my website today, where I've actually added this brand new video where I explain how my subscription service works. So this will explain how to join the Signal team in more description, and how the service works as a whole. So if you are interested and wanting to join my Signal service for a very small fee of $29.99, then head over to dailymarketmovements.com. But back to the NASDAQ 100. NASDAQ 100 has been very volatile during today's trading session. We've had some pretty wild swings here. We were initially up 1% just prior to the US stock market opening, and then pretty much when the markets opened within 15 minutes, we kind of paired those gains. And in the past hour or so, we did actually trade all the way to the session lows down at around 14,050. That being said, we have kind of paired our losses now, and we're pretty much trading where we started off the day. So this is what we call roller coaster markets, where you start somewhere, you go up, you go down, and then you pretty much end the day where you started. But that being said, I actually quite like the performance of the NASDAQ 100 this week. If we zoom in, you will see that we've created for the very first time in a long time a series of higher lows. We haven't really created any more lower lows. There have been higher lows, and it's not until we take out the 0.23 fib level, which is all the way down around 13,900, I would then start to become bearish. So at this moment in time, we are still looking bullish here for the NASDAQ 100. Sure, we may be trading in the red, and we may even finish the day perhaps down near 14,100 or even 14,000. But we have had a pretty good week. We've built on last Thursday and Friday's gains here for the NASDAQ 100, and it was just yesterday when I was explaining there are two massive headwinds for the stock market at this moment in time: hiking interest rates, and of course the invasion between Ukraine and Russia. Both were very, very uncertain going into yesterday's trading session. But yesterday we had a breakthrough, and that was Jerome Powell basically coming out and kind of giving us a hint as to what the Fed is thinking going forward. And it was very unsure: are we going to get a 50 basis point hike in March, or are we going to get a 25 basis point hike? And Powell basically come out yesterday and said we're looking to do a 25 basis point hike. May we are likely to do the same, and as well in June. And then it's not until June when the Fed is just basically going to take a step back and kind of analyze the whole situation with regards to the invasion between Russia and Ukraine. So that's kind of that's kind of given us some clarity here for the NASDAQ 100. That now takes us up to June. So we don't really have to worry so much about the interest rate hikes. We're only really going to get 3 hikes now up until the month of June. Now it leaves, of course, for one more headwind to deal with, which could potentially become a tailwind. Okay, and that, of course, is the Russia-Ukraine invasion or tensions. If we were to get a ceasefire, if Putin has agreed to go and speak with the Ukrainian Prime Minister or President, I should say, sorry. The Ukraine president in the past hour or so has come out saying that he wants to go and personally speak to Putin himself to kind of just, finish this war. At this moment in time, people are dying, and it's just pointless. It's pointless. It's just going to be an absolute bloodbath if it continues this way. So if there was a breakthrough and we did get a ceasefire of some sort until, further negotiations could take place, this could potentially become a tailwind for the markets. And I think that the next target here for the NASDAQ 100 is all the way up at that 0.38 fib level, which is trading around 14,500. If we can break above that, that then of course takes us to the 50 and the 200-day EMA, which is around 14,750. That being said, there's one market that I personally believe is dictating where the NASDAQ 100 trades to at this moment in time, and that, of course, is the S&P 500. The S&P 500 is really struggling at this moment in time to break above this 200-day EMA. We did briefly break above there when the markets first opened earlier on this morning, but of course, as I mentioned, just like the NASDAQ 100, it paired most of its gains. S&P 500 is currently trading in the green ever so slightly, but if we could get a true break above the 200-day EMA, perhaps a daily or a weekly close above it, and we went to go and trade up towards that 50-day EMA, which is around that 4,500 area, that could potentially be the catalyst for the NASDAQ 100 to then go and trade up towards that 50 and 200-day EMA, and potentially, there's always the potential that we could break above it, but that, of course, that always depends on the Russia-Ukraine tension. So I would definitely look towards the S&P 500. If we can get that break above that 200-day for the S&P 500, the NASDAQ 100 minimum should go and trade up towards the 50 and the 200-day EMA. Things are, certainly starting to look better at this moment in time. But that being said, it's still very important to understand that we kind of are still in a downtrend, and it's not until we can break above this, this downtrend line here that we can, really start to become bullish. And that's kind of what we tried to do earlier on during today's trading session. If we can break above there and we go and test that 50, 200-day EMA, all we really need then is one bullish catalyst, and that really could change the trend of this market. I've said it and I'll say it again. At this moment in time, everyone feels like the world is coming to an end with the stock market being as low as it is. But, if history tells a story, it will tell you that moments like this are actually a fantastic buying opportunity. The past couple of wars has actually been the day of the invasion when it was the perfect time to buy, and of course that was last Thursday, and up until this date that is still the lowest point in this market. So I think that eventually we will break back towards those all-time highs. It's not going to happen this week. It won't happen next week. It's not going to happen next month. But I think, towards the back end of 2022, we could cover some significant ground here for the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100. So I'm a buyer here. And as I mentioned at the start of today's video, guys, if you haven't yet done so, definitely go and check out my new Signal group.